Beasley, if you're watching this, be prepared because it's a vampire review. Hey guys, it's Maddie, and get excited because it's my, count 'em, second book review ever, and I'm really excited to talk to you about this next book I'm reviewing. So initially when I went to figure out which book I wanted to review, I decided to go out and buy an actual new book to add to my bookshelf. So I took a video of my trip to Savers, so settle in and enjoy my dedication to reading that will randomly hit me at 6:30 on a Thursday night. As you can tell, I got the Morganville Vampire book series, and initially upon purchasing said books in the series, I thought it was the first two actual books in the series, but no, it was actually the first 2 volumes of the series I ended up getting. So I'm super excited because that means I have 4 books in the series, and I already own the 5th. So that's going to be super awesome for me. And I've actually read this series before rereading it. I initially read this series on a website that is no longer in service, but it used to have free PDF copies of books. Yes, it was kind of on the sketchy side, but I ended up getting these free books and it was awesome, and I read the whole Morganville Vampire series books on that, and it was really cool. So it's been a few years since I have read them, so I quickly binge read the first 2 books in the series, and it was awesome. I'm super excited to talk to you guys about it. So moving on, this was the first book I binge read. It was called The Morganville Vampires Volume 1, and it has the first 2 books in the series, Glass House and Dead Girls Dance. Ooh, there's so many pages. Also, the font's kind of tiny, which makes it awesome. I love tiny font because then I can read more. Anywho, the story follows a girl named Claire who is 16 years old, almost 17, and she actually graduated high school early, and it's the story of her as a freshman in college. So I'm going to pause the video right there for a second, and that if I had graduated high school early, there is no way I would have gone straight to college. No, I would have gotten a job, traveled the world, I don't know, taken it as some sort of gap year, but going to college as a 16-year-old where you are still not legally able to sign your own documents, that just wouldn't happen. That's not me. I don't know. It's apparently Claire, but it's not me, so. Anywho, so very quickly she becomes enemies with the mean girl on campus, Monica. And Monica's kind of your cliche villain in the sense that she's tall, she's pretty, and she's, you guessed it, dumb. Anyway, Claire had insulted Monica's intelligence, which made Monica mad, and they got into a huge fight, and when Claire, fought back, Monica's like, I'ma kill you. So Claire, I guess being the genius she is, finally thought, hey, I'm gonna move off campus. So that's kind of where our story takes place, in that Claire moves into the glass house, where she ends up having 3 other roommates. Roommate number 1, Michael. Roommate number 2, Shane. And roommate number 3, Eve. And again, while I love this story, that brings up another relatability issue, is that I'm going to be going to college in a few months, and my dad doesn't even want me living on the same floor as boys, and somehow this underage girl is living in a house with 2 other very attractive men. Anyway, moving on. Besides the fact that that part's not super relatable, the group inside the house actually has their own issues, but despite that, they have Claire's back. And honestly, you really do need someone covering your back when you live in Morganville, Texas, home of the vampires. And when it comes to the vampires in Morganville, Texas, you're either protected or you're not. So that was a quick little synopsis of the first book, and now I'm going to dive into the character analysis where I don't really have any spoilers. So if you're here just trying to figure out whether the book is for you, you can keep on watching. So I'm starting with the girls in the story. The leading ladies are our girls, Claire and Eve. The two differ physically in every sense. Claire is your typical innocent girl who's kind of small, super skinny, average. Yeah, right. While Eve is your goth, crazy, rebellious type of girl on the outside. Eve is the definition of goth in the sense that her purse is a coffin, her necklaces are skeletons, and her makeup is black. Now, to be honest for a second, because I was a Girl Scout, while I really liked this story, mostly because it was short, Claire got on my nerves more than once as a main character. Like, she cried every chapter. Page 59, she wanted to throw up, wanted to cry. Page 60, she was halfway to her chem lab when the reaction hit her and she sat down on the bench and cried silently into her hands. Page 98, she tried not to cry. Not trying hard enough, Claire. Page 101, Claire whimpered. Why are you whimpering? It is 2 pages later. What has happened? I thought you were trying not to cry. Lord help me. And as a feminist, yes, I believe in equality for both men and women, including sensitivity. But oh my God, it is so annoying to see the main character once again crying over every little detail. Like, I get there's supposed to be like a growth part of the book where they become innocent to like strong hero, but that don't mean you gotta cry. But I liked Eve because she was different, she was unique, she was a smart ass, and she was rebellious. Like, she didn't take no as an answer. Now moving on to the boys. There's Shane and there's Michael. Shane is the main love interest to Claire, and he is hot, he's a smart ass, he's loud. But unpopular opinion, I was more a fan of Michael. Michael had this protective, avenging angel, hot, and talented personality. Like, I honestly wish Michael could have been like the main interest. Like, I love him with Eve, but I wish it was Eve, I guess, would come into the house and Michael was just the same person. He was just so much more rounded out than Shane was. Yes, Shane had the sad backstory and he was like the bad boy or whatever, which usually is more the type of guy I love in the story, but there was just something about Michael. I love the chemistry and dynamic between him and Eve in the sense that Michael was always trying to protect her, but he also respected Eve enough to protect herself. Unlike Shane followed Claire everywhere, which, yes, I kind of get it because she's being hunted throughout the story, but really, give her a gun or something. Give her something to protect herself. Shane, what are you going to do if a vampire comes for her? You are a human. There is very little you can do against a super speed type of vampire. And, Shane, really? You referred to Clary as jailbait. And oh my God, Shane and Claire never defined their relationship. I honestly kind of feel like I missed a huge step in that relationship. They were friends, they kissed, and then they're not friends or not kissing. I don't even know what happened. But oh no, book 2, hey Dad, step away from my girlfriend. So did I miss when we started labeling that, or I don't know. My favorite part of stories that have a romance is this build-up to that romance. And I kind of feel cheated on that. The first time around, I didn't. I loved Claire and Shane. But reading it again, I'm a little ticked off. Where is the build-up? Though, to give my past self credit, there were aspects I loved to Shane and Claire in the relationship. But then there's Michael. Michael, my beautiful fallen angel who can play guitar. Hot damn. I don't want to spoil his story, but literally kind of teared up because it was super duper sad. Ugh, Michael. So this next part of the video might have a few spoilers of books 1 and 2. So I'm going to be talking about a few different ideas of feminism that I noticed throughout the book, and the idea of showing compassion towards your bullies. So this first part, I'm talking about feminism. Yes, I really, really, really enjoyed the story. I think it was a cute short read. But there were so many cliches that really, really bothered me. Claire was such a weak character. Like I said earlier, she was always crying. She could never do anything by herself. And she always seemed to suck herself further into the problem every time she helped. Like, people got hurt protecting her while she was trying to protect them. And honestly, this whole issue in the story wouldn't have happened if Claire had just sucked up to Monica and never moved into the glass house. So in the second book, there's a scene where Claire is almost raped by a bunch of kids from her school. And it really bothered me because, yes, she fought back against them and beat them up with a baseball bat. Good for her. But at the same time, it was super frustrating because after it all happened, she's so ready to forgive them. She's hiding in the closet with one of her possible rapists, and she's holding his hand. In no way is that okay with me. And at the end, she's so ready to forgive him. Page 404. You still gonna tell the cops? That was coffee bar jerk. No, Claire said. Then Eve comes in, which, God bless her, I love her so much. Bullshit. Yes, Eve said. A world of yes. And you better not try this again. Ever. God bless you, Eve. Thank you for being there and being logical. Although, towards the end of the second book, I guess Claire kind of just starts standing up for herself. Page 417. Claire said, decides for herself, in case you forgot. But then Michael told her that she can't leave the house, where Eve responds, what are you gonna do? Lock her up in her room? And basically Michael realizes that he can't fight two girls when they're against him because, that's just how it works. Although, to give Claire some credit, towards the end when the group's trying to exclude her from fighting with them against the vampires, she does end up standing up for herself just a little bit. But then those rights are revoked 2 pages later. Page 421. We've got the right to, yeah, I'm getting all choked up about your rights. Eve, you stay here. What you mean, stay here? I am not going to stay here. I am going to go with the crowd because the crowd has the stakes. The crowds have the crosses. The crowds have fire. I have nothing if I hide in my closet because what am I going to do? I am not hitting a vampire with the hanger. I will be stabbing it in the chest with a stake. Or I will make it fall in love with me and we will live happily ever after regardless. And for the second part where I talk about bullies versus compassion, I want to stress the idea that if someone threatens to kill me and drops acid on me and pushes me down the stairs to kill me, we will never be friends. I actually just had to write an article in my AP literature class talking about the idea of universal compassion. Basically the idea where you show compassion and empathy towards every single person regardless of their crime. Sure, in a perfect world that would seem nice. But then again, in a perfect world, there aren't murderers. There aren't rapists. There aren't people who discriminate. So I think it's very improbable to imagine a world where universal compassion is shown. And sure, Claire might develop as a character by rescuing Monica from the fire, but at the same time, Monica tried to kill you. I'll go in there and I'll rescue maybe Richard, but Monica, you are dead to me. I will leave you so fast behind in that fire. Heck, I wouldn't even have run into the fire to begin with. You literally mean nothing to me. You are the dirt on my shoe. You are the dog poop in my backyard I pass over pretending I don't see. You literally are the definition of Satan. So, no, I don't think the idea the Dalai Lama had about universal compassion can be shown. I don't really know though. I speak only from 17 years of experience, but at the same time, I've read a lot of books. I've lived pretty full life over a decade, almost 2. I'd like to think that I know a few things. I don't really know. Overall, I really enjoyed the books. I thought they were a lot of fun. They were super short reads. But on a scale of 1 to 10, compared to all the other books that I've read, I'd probably give it like a 6.5. Yes, it was a good short read, but it had a lot of cliches to it. I also didn't think that Shane was rounded out enough as a character. However, by saying this, I did buy several books in the series, so I do think that it is worth the read if you're looking for a new take on vampires that are enjoyable. Fun conspiracy fact, I do think vampires could be real. Not in the whole drink your blood type of thing, but I'm pretty sure sophomore year I convinced a few people on my swim team I was a vampire. So with that, I will end this video. Jace Herondale signing off.